LaLiga is experiencing its prime, with three of the best teams in Europe battling at the top, pushing themselves to the limit to win it all. This has become one of the most exciting seasons in recent memory, with elite protagonists, one of the best versions of Hansi Flick's FC Barcelona. The all-powerful Real Madrid led by Mbappé. And the inconsistent Atletico de Madrid under Cholo Simeone.
Julian se va a meter al área, le pegó al arco, golazo. ¡Gol! ¡Te digo gol! Recontra golazo. Picó la araña Julian Alvarez.
Who nonetheless have seen the rise of a true superstar in Julian Alvarez. This edition of La Liga has given us everything, starting with the historic beginning of Hansi Flick's Barcelona, who dominated Spanish football with an iron fist until November, posting staggering numbers. In the first 12 match days, Barca led the table with 33 points, 9 ahead of Real Madrid, who sat on 24 at the time. But the most impressive part was their firepower, 40 goals scored, nearly double that of the second best scoring team, Real Madrid, who had only 20 and just 11 goals conceded. But that wasn't all. On October 26th, 2024, Flick's side delivered something we hadn't seen in La Liga for a while. They humiliated Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. From the start of the season, it looked like Flick's Barca would dominate from beginning to end, and the numbers backed it up. Not since Ernesto Valverde's first year, 2017/18, when he secured 34 out of 36 points, had Barca started this strongly, 11 wins and 1 draw in the first 12 match days. Valverde's Barca had fewer goals in that span, with 33. The same goes for Tata Martino's 2013-14 team, who also reached 34 points, but with 34 goals for and 7 against. Even Tito Villanova's Barca hit that same mark with 39 goals scored and 15 conceded. Flick's Barca was terrifying going forward, but what shocked everyone was how dangerous they were defensively. His tactic of pushing the defensive line high up the pitch became a deadly trap that shook every team in Spain. In El Clasico alone, Madrid were caught offside 12 times. 9 of them were Mbappé. That stat says it all. Hansi Flick erased La Liga's biggest signing from the game entirely, purely through his tactical setup. A masterclass start to the season from Barcelona. Everything looked perfect for Flick's Barca. The team didn't just lead the table, they crushed their rivals with ruthless scorelines. Their football flowed, their defence was rock solid, and their stats made it seem like nobody could stop them from winning the title. Meanwhile, Real Madrid was sinking into an unexpected crisis. Mbappé's adaptation was a disaster, and Carlo Ancelotti's poor tactical choices only made things worse. Madrid weren't just falling out of the title race, their Champions League campaign was in jeopardy. Pressure was mounting with every match day, and the team had no answers. The breaking point came with a loss to Athletic Club. That match was the final straw. Madrid had hit rock bottom. With that defeat, Los Blancos had lost 5 of their last 11 games. A full-blown crisis for a club that demands excellence. The locker room was in turmoil, the fans had run out of patience, and fingers were pointing at the ones responsible for the meltdown. And in the middle of it all, one name stood out. Kylian Mbappé, the marquee signing, the man who was supposed to lead Madrid's new era, wasn't living up to the hype. His form was worrying, his performances were far below expectations, and the criticism was piling up. 2 missed penalties in key moments were among his lowest moments.
Ahí va Kylian Mbappé, será para Julian. Kylian Mbappé le pega a Mbappé. Lo anuncia demasiado, Kylian Mbappé lo falla.
2 misses from just 5 attempts this season. But that wasn't the worst part. What really concerned the club was his total disconnection from the team. Mbappé couldn't find rhythm with his teammates. He didn't understand Madrid's tempo, and that left him easily neutralised by opposing defences. The stat was alarming: 21 offsides in 13 matches. Completely unacceptable for a player of his calibre, and a sign of how poorly he had adapted to the team's system. Mbappé's numbers in his first 8 games with Real Madrid were brutal, for all the wrong reasons. 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Those were his goals in that stretch, his worst club scoring run since 2021. Mbappé's arrival was Madrid's most hyped signing since Cristiano Ronaldo in 2009. Over 70,000 fans packed the Bernabeu for his unveiling. He was supposed to be the superstar who would usher in a new golden age, shatter records, and lead the locker room. But the numbers didn't lie. In his first 17 matches, Mbappé had only scored 9 goals across all competitions, just 7 in LaLiga, a start well below expectations and a complete disappointment for a fan base that had expected a saviour but got an out-of-sync forward instead. The pressure on Mbappé was immense.
El partido de Bilbao me hace buenas cosas porque yo fui al fondo, falló un penal y pensó que fue el buen momento de realizar que tengo que dar mi máximo para esta camiseta y jugar con personalidad.
Madrid were in crisis, La Liga was slipping away, and the big question remained, could Kylian bounce back in time? Or was he destined to be just another failed signing in the mould of Kaká or Eden Hazard? But everything changed with the unexpected crisis of Hansi Flick's Barcelona. What once looked like an unbeatable team, dominating La Liga with authority, suddenly collapsed in the final stretch of the year. The Catalan side went into the Christmas break stuck in a troubling run of poor results. The final blow came against Atletico Madrid, in a match that marked a clear turning point. Simeone's team won in Montjuic, handing Barca their 3rd consecutive home defeat, after losses to Las Palmas and Leganés. But that wasn't all. Before that, the team had already dropped points against Real Sociedad and had drawn with Celta and Betis. Everything built during that flawless start of the season crumbled in just a few weeks. The lead they had worked so hard to create vanished, and with the defeat to Atletico, Barcelona lost the top spot in La Liga, just 5 points from their last 21 possible. A brutal collapse that allowed their rivals not only to catch up but to overtake them in the table.
La derrota de hoy, yo pongo todo en mi responsabilidad y bueno, la vida es así. Hemos jugado muy bien, pero muchas veces yo prefiero jugar muy mal y salir con la victoria. Una lástima lo que pasó, jugamos bien pero no ganamos.
What hurt the most was that the loss to Atletico didn't reflect the team's actual performance. While their displays against Las Palmas and Leganés left much to be desired, against Atletico, Barcelona returned to their best version. They pressed high, pinned the visitors back, and created multiple chances. They did everything right, except the most important part, score. Their finishing touch had disappeared. What used to be a goal machine was now struggling to convert its chances, and the most visible reflection of that crisis was Robert Lewandowski. The Polish striker, once a guaranteed goal scorer, had netted just once in his last 5 matches. Barcelona's attacking edge had vanished, and with it, their dominance in La Liga, but their performance against Atletico showed signs of revival, a warning of what was to come later. Barcelona's downfall coincided with Kylian Mbappe's awakening at Real Madrid. What at the start of the season looked like a failed adaptation, with the Frenchman misfiring and not fitting into Ancelotti's system, took a dramatic turn. Mbappé not only overcame his slump, he did it in style. December and January were peak Real Madrid, coinciding with the best version of the French forward. Los Blancos reclaimed the top spot in La Liga during this stretch, trading it briefly with Atletico Madrid, showing a consistency they had lacked at the beginning of the campaign. Ancelotti, despite the disaster in the Spanish Super Cup against Barcelona, started finding his ideal ICSI, and with it, Mbappé left the worst form of his career behind. The goals that had eluded him early in the season, when he missed 2 key penalties, one at Anfield against Liverpool and another in Bilbao against Athletic, were no longer a problem. Something had shifted. Mbappé stopped playing with fear. He found freedom, and Madrid began to benefit from his deadliest version. The turning point came with an explosive scoring run, 5 goals in just 2 La Liga games, a brace against Las Palmas, and his first hat-trick for Madrid against Valladolid. From there, his numbers soared. Looking at Mbappe's form since the start of 2025, the stats speak for themselves. 14 matches played, 14 goals scored, including 2 hat-tricks, against Valladolid and Manchester City. But beyond the quantity, what truly changed was his ability to step up in big moments. And with 30 goals and 4 assists in all competitions, nobody questions anymore. The turtle is back. Mbappé made his mark in the big games, scoring against Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup, against Atletico in La Liga, and in both legs against Manchester City in the Champions League. That's exactly what Madridistas expected from him, to be the difference maker on the biggest nights. And his most brilliant performance came soon after. In what has been his best game for Real Madrid so far, Mbappé delivered a stunning hat-trick to send his team into the Champions League round of 16. First, a perfect chip just 3 minutes in to open the score.
Mbappé, la pelota que pica, el disparo!
Then an electric dribble followed by a clinical finish for his second.
Mbappé, es un golazo!
And finally a bicycle move and a powerful left-footed strike to seal the masterpiece.
Mbappé, Mbappé! Hat-trick!
Mbappé received a standing ovation from the fans and his teammates. And while the applause mattered, what truly made the difference was that he himself understood what he had been doing wrong. For months, he'd been overthinking every move instead of trusting his instincts. Once he stopped overanalyzing, his football started to shine again.
No, porque yo lo he dicho en rueda de prensa, que no quería venir aquí para jugar mal. Realizar mi sueño es una cosa, pero quiero jugar bien aquí, quiero marcar una época, escribir historia en el Real Madrid y yo sabía que yo no podía ser peor. Tenía que jugar con personalidad y que ya el tiempo de adaptación se ha acabado y tengo que demostrar mi calidad.
Porque en el primer partido de temporada no te asustabas con lo de 50 goles, no sé si te marcas todavía esa cifra, ahora que llevas 28.
Siempre ha dicho que no tengo límite, que si puedo marcar 50 me va a marcar, si puedo marcar más me va a marcar más, pero lo más importante es ganar títulos, porque mi carrera ha marcado muchos goles, pero a veces para nada, porque al final no ganamos siempre los títulos, pero si marcamos muchos goles y ganamos títulos, firmo con mi sangre.
He's on fire, at the most crucial point of the season, right when Real Madrid needs him most. And without a doubt, he's one of LaLiga's main protagonists in the race for the Pichichi, now trailing Robert Lewandowski by just 2 goals. Just when it seemed like Real Madrid was ready to take full control of La Liga, capitalising on Barcelona's dip in form, Hansi Flick's team proved they have the talent and mentality to win absolutely everything. 2025 has undoubtedly been the year of Barcelona's consolidation as the best team in the world. At the time of recording this video, Barca is the only unbeaten team in Europe this year, an impressive feat in such a demanding season. But they haven't just remained undefeated, they've become a goal-scoring machine.
Porque no, yo creo que no tendrás que tenerle miedo a ningún equipo. Ya dije que en Champions el equipo favorito era el Liverpool porque quedó primero y los segundos éramos nosotros, entonces ahora que no está el Liverpool somos nosotros, entonces no le tengo miedo a ningún equipo. Yo creo que los partidos contra el Madrid siempre son muy bonitos, yo creo que somos el equipo que más daño les hace.
60 goals in 18 matches so far in 2025, pure madness. Barcelona isn't just winning, they're steamrolling opponents. They proved it with a 5-2 demolition of Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup, in a match where Ancelotti's team was completely outclassed. And they confirmed it again by smashing Atletico Madrid with 4 goals at the Wanda Metropolitano. There is no other team in Europe with a run like Barcelona's. Unbeaten in 2025, with only 3 minor blemishes on their record. Draws against Getafe, 1-1 in La Liga, Atalanta 2-2 in the Champions League, and Atletico Madrid 4-4 in the Copa del Rey, all away or at neutral venues. In fact, the last team to beat Barcelona was Atletico Madrid 3 months ago on December 21st, in a narrow 2-1 defeat in La Liga. Since then, no one has been able to bring Flick's side down. This team looked like it had fallen off a cliff, but they've proven that champions never give up. And right now, Barcelona is playing their best football of the season. Meanwhile, Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid began 2025 with hopes of winning a historic treble. Everything seemed to be aligning for a record-breaking season. But in the span of just 1 week, that dream turned into a nightmare. In just a few days, Atletico wasted their season with one of the most disappointing choke jobs in recent years. First came their Champions League exit at the hands of Real Madrid, in a game where Atleti had everything going for them. They ended up losing in a penalty shootout. Yes, it was controversial, but the reality is, Atletico had every chance to seal the match and didn't take it. Simeone once again dropped his team deep when they had Madrid on the ropes. He didn't go for the kill. He didn't finish off a Real Madrid side that was one of the weakest in recent memory. It really felt like it was now or never for Atletico Madrid. But when the moment came to land the decisive blow, Cholo reverted to type, and after the elimination, with his usual cold demeanour, he dared to say the following.
Y que sí, que posiblemente no le hayamos podido ganar en Champions al Real Madrid, sí, claro. No pudimos, pero que la pasaron mal todas las veces. Seguro que se van a acordar de algunos de nosotros por tiempo disfrutando el habernos ganado, pero sabiendo y diciendo, cuando están solos, ¿viste? Joder, mirá que esto eran jodidos, Esto nos la pusieron jodido siempre.
And if that wasn't enough, their La Liga collapse sealed their season's fate. In a crucial matchday 28 clash, Barcelona overpowered them with a commanding 4-2 win. That result all but knocked Atletico out of the title race. Hansi Flick's Barcelona, who are still neck and neck with Real Madrid, pulled 4 points ahead of Atletico, but things could get even worse for the Colchoneros. Barca has a game in hand, which they'll play on March 27th against Osasuna at Montjuic. If they win, the gap will widen to 7 points. With only 10 match days left in the league, the chance to make history disappeared in just 7 days. From dreaming of a treble to being out of the Champions League and nearly out of the La Liga race, Atletico's season has taken a devastating turn. It's honestly a shame for a team that has players like Antoine Griezmann. Despite the blow of losing to Barcelona, Griezmann still left his mark on the match by reaching an incredible milestone. With his goal, he reached 137 goals wearing the red and white shirt, equaling Lionel Messi and Pep Guardiola as the highest scoring player-coach duo in La Liga history. Well, at least Cholo will have something to celebrate, because beyond this record, Simeone's management at Atletico is starting to be questioned. And it's not just because of recent results, but because of one shocking stat. From 2015 to today, Atletico Madrid has paid Diego Simeone around 155 million euros. Yes, 155 million, that makes him the highest paid coach in the world. More than coaches like Hansi Flick, who have achieved far more. And in all this time, he's only won 1 La Liga title. Brutal. This situation not only affects the club financially, but could also influence the future of its key players. And here's where Julian Alvarez's name comes into play. The Argentine striker just doesn't stop scoring goals or showing up when it matters. He's the man for big matches, the one who always delivers. He's done it against Barcelona in the Copa, against Real Madrid in La Liga, punished Madrid again in the Champions League.
Julián se va a meter al área, le pegó al arco, golazo. ¡Gol! ¡Te digo gol! ¡Recontra golazo! ¡Picó la araña Julian Alvarez!
And once more against Barca in La Liga.
Esto puede ser gol para el Atlético de Madrid. Julián y gol, 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 gol.
The numbers don't lie. Julian Alvarez is ready for something bigger, and he knows it. His departure from Atletico seems inevitable. He simply can't keep wasting his talent in a team that isn't competing at the highest level. 2 clubs are strongly linked to him, Barcelona and Liverpool. Let's hope this becomes a reality for the sake of a star who's proven he's ready for a team with real ambitions. Now let's talk about what's coming, because this isn't over yet. Pay attention. La Liga is still wide open between the 3 giants, plus Barcelona and Atletico Madrid will clash again in the Copa del Rey semi-finals, while Real Madrid is practically already in the final. And if we look ahead to the Champions League, I bet we'll see Barcelona and Real Madrid face off in the grand final of the most important club tournament in the world. But what supports this theory? The truth is that while Atletico isn't far from the 2 titans, it's very unlikely they'll catch up, especially considering there's only one remaining direct clash between the top 3, Barcelona versus Real Madrid on May 11th. That match will decide the La Liga title. And think about it, both teams have enough weapons to stay consistent through the rest of the season. On one side, Lamine Yamal continues to deliver Messi-like performances. What he did against Atletico Madrid was unreal. Triple marked and still managed to score the match winner. A killer stat. In the 3 matches he missed this season, Barca dropped points. That's how crucial Lamine is right now. But what's even scarier is that Yamal isn't the only one making a difference. Robert Lewandowski is on fire, scoring a goal every 89 minutes. That's pure efficiency. And while he'll stay for a 4th season at Barcelona, the club is convinced that his impact still outweighs everything else. The proof is right there. He scored against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich,
Sale Neuer, el arco abierto, gol.
And Atletico at the Wanda.
Robert Lewandowski golpeó y gol, 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 gol. Golpe de rabia del Barça.
There's no doubt this is his moment. And if you still have doubts, listen to this. He just equaled Ronaldinho's goal tally for Barca, 94 goals. But here's the scary part. Dinho needed 207 games to get there. Lewandowski did it in just 135. That's 72 fewer matches than the Brazilian legend. If you think this team lacks depth, think again. Ferran Torres is in his best form since arriving at Barca. With 13 goals this season, 1 every 87 minutes. He's gone from winger to centre forward and become the perfect impact sub. Only Lewandowski and Rafinha have more goals than him. But Ferran isn't just about goals. His high-pressing ability is vital to Hansi Flick's system, and for him, that's gold. And we can't forget about Rafinha, who's having a Ballon d'Or level season. He's the soul and lungs of this Barca side. His form is historic, so much so that he's now the highest scoring Brazilian in a single Champions League campaign, surpassing legendary names like Kaká, Ronaldo Nazario, Ronaldinho, and Neymar. And it's not crazy to think he could chase down Cristiano Ronaldo's all-time record of 17 goals in a single UCL season. 27 goals and 20 assists this campaign. Right now, the best player in the world. What Hansi Flick has done is rediscover the winning formula that led Barca to conquer Europe and LaLiga in their golden eras. A dominant Brazilian like Ronaldinho in 2006, Neymar in 2015, and now Rafinha. A lethal number 9 like Eto'o in 2006, Suarez in 2015, and now Lewandowski. And a genius from La Masia like Iniesta in 2006, Messi in 2015, and now Lamine Yamal. This team is ready to win everything. La Liga, the Champions League, and of course to roll over Atletico Madrid and Cholo Simeone's cold-blooded squad once again. Barcelona is back, and the football world knows it. On the other hand, just like FC Barcelona, Real Madrid has shown that they are ready for big things. With brilliant performances from Thibaut Courtois and Kylian Mbappé, Ancelotti's team has positioned itself to challenge for absolutely everything. Both players have proven to be the best at what they do this season. Think about it. Despite all the problems they've faced, Los Blancos remain at the top, still competing in every tournament. Madrid has struggled with defensive issues all season long. Injuries to key players like Rudiger, Militao, and Alaba have left their backline consistently weakened. However, not everything has been negative. In the midst of adversity, the team has unearthed a player who's been a real treat for football lovers, Raúl Asensio. Alongside Kubasi, he's shaping up to be one of the top centre-backs of the future. The emergence of these young talents has been one of the biggest surprises of the year, and without a doubt, great news for Spanish football. Luckily for Madrid, their attacking power has been enough to cover up those defensive flaws. Even though Vinicius Jr. hasn't performed at last season's level and has struggled with muscle issues, the team has found in Mbappé and Rodrigo two attacking leaders capable of carrying the offensive load. Still, there's one thing that can't be overlooked. This team is tired. Jude Bellingham, despite maintaining an outstanding level, looks like he's giving everything in every game, and the physical toll is clear. The same goes for Valverde and other key players. The intensity with which they've had to approach this season is catching up with them. And in this final stretch, endurance will be a decisive factor. Even so, the team's offensive numbers are still impressive. Vinicius has 18 goals and 14 assists this season, and in a team where Rodrigo is the third best attacking option, the potential is huge. Plus, having a player like Valverde, who shines in any position he plays, is a luxury very few teams can afford. And if history has taught us anything, it's that you can never, ever count Real Madrid out. This team has proven time and time again that it can rise in the toughest moments, and with players like Mbappé, Bellingham, and Courtois, Ancelotti's side remains a real threat in all competitions. We've already talked about the most important attacking weapons of the two top contenders for La Liga, but now it's time to talk about the key player who makes us believe that Barcelona is the team most likely to win the treble. A player who stands above Yamal, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Bellingham, Mbappé, and Vinicius Jr. His name is Pedri. Pedri is the brain of Barcelona. He has the maturity of a young Xavi Hernandez and the skill and magic of Andres Iniesta. He's the player who brings balance, who dictates the rhythm of the game, and when he's at his best, he makes Barca almost unstoppable. If you want to beat Barcelona, you have to stop him, because when Pedri controls the midfield, Hansi Flick's team always finds a way to win. This has happened time and time again throughout the season. Against Atletico Madrid, in El Clásicos, in the Champions League, it's always been Pedri who's unlocked the win for Barca. His ability to read the game, thread impossible passes, and manage the tempo makes him the most decisive player on the team. He's not the flashiest, not the most marketable, but his influence on the game is undeniable. Taking everything we've discussed into account, Barcelona looks like the clear favourite to win both La Liga and the Champions League. But if there's one thing this season has taught us, it's that nothing is guaranteed. La Liga has been a battle from day one, and I'm sure it won't stop surprising us until the very last match day.